So here's Dorado on day 57, and you'll see I have the bit on as well as I have the halter, and I have 2 reins so I can kind of help him out in transitioning to the bit. So he's doing pretty well. Now I do have to lunge him before I get on, but it's getting better and better. And you'll see we're working on our circles. So right now I have the 2 reins, and so I'm using the halter rein, and then I'm trying to incorporate a little bit of the bit. So you'll see every now and then he gets a little fussy, and that's just him not quite understanding. So I'm just going to stay patient and steady with my hands. I'm not really putting any pressure. I'm not asking him to frame up. He kind of just does that naturally. And you really want to have a soft connection in your hand. It's equivalent to holding an egg whenever you go to touch a horse's mouth. So trying to be very soft while I'm pushing my hands forward. So he starts to understand to go towards the contact, and you'll see he starts to frame up nicely. And then I work on changing directions. Sometimes he gets a little bit over dramatic where he'll over flex, and again, I am not asking for that. I'm trying to stay just really nice and steady, very even and soft pressure. Every now and then he wants to put in a little stop, and that's okay. Asked him for the canter, and he has beautiful transition. Couldn't ask for better. I was really proud of him today he's coming along really nicely. Now I have to make sure when I do my circles, he likes to drift towards that gate. So I'm going to have my outside leg pressure, and I'm going to support with my outside rein. So essentially it's kind of like you're closing that door. So they learn to get their balance and not drift with the shoulder. And now I'm going to ask him to change directions. He actually stayed pretty straight there, didn't drift his shoulders towards the gate. That's a big deal for him. Asked for the canter. That was lovely. Again, couldn't ask for better transitions. And you see, he thinks about heading towards that gate, and I always like to work with the gate open so I can really teach my horses that that's not where we are going to go. We go past an open gate. And again, gave me a really nice down transition. So I give him a reward, give him a nice rub. He's starting to really figure it out. Gave me a good little stop. It was really good. So now I switched saddles to my English saddle, or my jump saddle, just in getting him used to both pieces of tack. And yeah, I mean, I am an English rider. I do 3-day eventing, so I was actually really happy with how he felt. This was the first time I had sat on him in my jump saddle, so he actually felt really good. Gave a nice pivot around the leg there. Went into a nice trot transition. I asked him to canter. So you'll see I asked him to canter in this corner because that sets me up for a little bit of success. I know he's going to want to drop his shoulder a little bit to head towards the gate, and I know I'm going to have a little bit more momentum going that way. So that's where I'll ask to make sure I can get the correct lead. So especially with the green horses in the beginning, you have to be kind of smart about where you ask things so then you can set them up to be successful. He gave me a pretty good canter circle. Then I'm going to ask for the trot. Now, when I ask my horses to do the trot transition, I generally close through my knees versus when I ask them to stop, I'll kind of rotate my seat down and then push my feet forward. Right there, I said ho because he picked up the wrong lead, but then he went nicely and picked up the correct lead. That happens when they pick up the wrong lead and you just stop and restart. It's not really a big deal. And again, when he gets a little fussy, you see him pushing my hands forward, pushing my leg forward, or pushing him forward with my leg, I'm sorry. So he learns to come through the hind end and over his back. Anytime they get fussy like that, you don't want to pull backwards, you want to push forwards. He did pretty good in the down transition, and I love, he's getting really nice and soft. Really giving me some good work today. I'm going to change directions again. This used to be really hard to do because he kept wanting to head towards the gate, but he's learning to get straighter. So there he got a little fussy, and it's just because I blocked him from kind of zigzagging a little bit. He was really good. I was really happy with how he did for the day, using both types of tack, and gave in some really good flat work.